Hello, and welcome to episode 16 of Flesh and Pod. My name is Abby, and I am your host. With me, as always, are Logan and Jordan. For everybody who listens to our show and was very excited for a live episode this week, I have bad news. That did not happen.
We are not live from the Calling Indianapolis.
Technical issues abound.
We had a bunch of technical issues, so we were not able to record while we were all together. But we are able to record now, and Logan took time out of his vacation to record. So if you ever think, yeah, it's just like a podcast, we take it very seriously around here.
It's a lifestyle.
It is a lifestyle. We are committed to the bit. So even though I'm out here in this sunny blue skies, 75 degrees with a nice little breeze, utterly perfect weather,
Shut up.
I am for the people, and as such, I will be here to make sure that your needs are cared for, because that's how we are. That's how we roll.
The people's podcast at the end of the day.
The people's
Yeah, I'm taking away your talking rights if you're going to talk about how nice it is there.
I mean, fine.
Oh, Logan's connection also fell off. Okay.
Cheers.
All right. So, Logan, if you want to start, tell us about your weekend at the Calling.
A couple of, I mean, there's way more than a couple things to go over, but I played in the main event. It was, again, I reiterate that I was sick of playing Starvo, so I played Katsu instead. Every matchup felt great except for Starvo. Shocker to everyone. We did play the Team Blitz event, and it was super fun. Shout out to the Fresh and Buds podcast for we called them out on Twitter to play them.
We went into the gauntlet,
and then we just got paired in the event in the last round. So shout out to them. They were fun as hell to play against.
They're so cool, man.
So cool. I played Kasai. My merit badge for the weekend was surviving playing against Oldham in Blitz. I ate 2 Oakenolds, a Pulverize, and an Endless Winner, and won that game. Those are words that should not happen in a 20 life format.
Sure.
And that happened, but again, just also we just got to meet a lot of our community and people that we didn't know were our community, and it was wonderful to meet everybody. The event was Starvo. What else are you gonna say? Like, won both major events. Although the calling portion of it was very different. Due to it was, shout out to Michael Hamilton, the GOAT as of right now.
You guys are a freak, right?
I don't think anybody plays at a higher level than him right now. Just full stop.
Have you had a chance? I know you're traveling, so probably not, to watch his finals match and his
we listened to the whole thing.
Okay. Okay. Insane, by the way.
Yeah, and I do, so like traveling with Dagan White and Ben Lovrens and John Padlovic, as we're listening to this happen, like on turn 1 or turn 2, whatever it was, when Michael blew the pulse of Eisenloft and to block something, Dagan's like, "Oh no, this is over." And I'm like, I feel like there's a master at work here, and we may need to pause a little bit. And then even later, when it's like, okay, well, the Bravo player is down in life, and this is supposed to be like the prison player is down in life and turns the corner, not the other way around. So he's probably going to lose this. And at that point in time, Dagan and I were like, pump the brakes. This is not your father, Starvo. This is actually just Oldham reskinned as Starvo. Like, it's the Scooby-Doo meme where it's like, who are you really? And they pull a mask off, and it's Old Man Oldham. It was an Oldham deck that played Blink. So yeah, it definitely a dude's wheelhouse, and he's a master. That match was 70 minutes of awesome. That being said, the thing I disagree with the announcers on, and by the way, Flake, GOAT. Straight up, GOAT. What an awesome job that he did, and did it on super short notice.
They were literally like, "Hey, you're not playing this weekend. You're going to do this commentating," and he was insane.
He's so good.
Oh my god,
Matt, my hat is permanently off to you just for the. I mean, you had me at the Zamboni references. You captured my heart yet again with talking about hoovering up those tokens. And when you referred to Michael Hamilton as a glorious bastard right before he won, I was forever hooked. So, Flake, you are forever the GOAT in my mind. This is for you. Cheers, Flake. But what they talked about was how this meta is good-ish. Where, there's these different types of these decks showing out and blah, and things like that, which is true. There are. But that doesn't mean it's still not pushing out every other goddamn archetype. And you got to let other things breathe, right? Like, you can't just be like, since Prism and Bravo play so great against each other, it's fine. Like, I don't think that that's healthy.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's where I'm at with this entire format. It's got me excited to play Blitz because that way I don't have to deal with Starvo, and that's probably bad because it's Blitz.
No, I definitely agree with that in terms of like it's burnt me out on Classic Constructed. We talked about that pretty much at length over the course of the week about how I had zero fun on Saturday, even when I was winning matches. Wasn't really vibing. Anyway, I want you to finish your recap of your weekend. But I noticed you wanted to drink your beer, so that's why I was doing the cover.
No, you're good. You're good. So the GOAT moments were obviously Abby on hitting the Fabled in the Cracking Packs drinking event.
Yeah, that was cool.
The meal at St. Elmo's was itself an awesome time, a blast.
Eek.
But when you hear a person dead ass tell a waitress after the waitress says, "Would you like everything on your baked potato? Sour cream, butter, bacon, chives?" And he just goes, "Just chives, please." As confident as humanly possible.
That man was a mania. Arrest that man.
What's going on here?
Ben, please.
What are you doing? Like it
was it Ben?
I mean,
who was it?
Because now the potato is interfering with your chive intake. Is that what's happening? Like, what is going on here?
It wasn't Ben. Who was it?
Nate Benny.
It was Benny. Okay. Oh my! With the confidence of 1,000 suns.
Oh yeah, just like snap it off. Chives only.
Ruin my baked potato, please.
Awful. Disgusting.
Like that's an accent piece at best. It's to give some color, man. Like,
oh my
what is
god!
happening here?
Put some cheese in it or something, bud.
Anything.
Literally anything.
I hate sour cream, and I would just be like, okay, I can abide the sour cream and chive, but just the chive.
Oh my god, it was absurd. That's like a $20 baked potato at that restaurant. Like,
and also because he's been bitching about it, and a shout out to John Patty for going 4-2 in the Battle Hardened, playing Starvo for only the second event in his life. The day before was the first.
Oh wow!
However, it is worth pointing out that one of his losses in that Battle Hardened was to 9 Pummel Levia.
Oh.
So forever, until the end of time, he is having Levia stepping on his chest and pummeling him repeatedly. That is his entire avatar of being now, and I will not accept anything different.
I didn't know that it was Patty's first event at the Calling.
No, it was
real event. Oh,
it was his first time playing Starvo.
Oh, excuse me. Okay. Oh, okay.
But
Harden's great.
Yeah, he was hard the whole time. Shouts out to the entire community, though. It was great to finally meet Keith, the owner of the Realm, Nagalma Josh from Grove City, I think he's called now. Meeting the light mommy enthusiast himself, Nick, who is actually currently a Susan B. Anthony stan. Meeting Dalen in person. Just as a caveat there, we are roughly the same size human being on paper. We are not the same. We are nowhere near the same.
The scales read the same, but yeah.
They sure are not.
What did I say to you? I said, I know he's an athlete. I guess I expected him to be like huge, but you're like, no, that's just what a person looks like when they don't have body fat. And I was just like, right. This man would crush me in a heartbeat. It is way faster than you or I by considerable margin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly, he's a super cool guy. I was happy to meet him in real life too.
Entire Iowa crew was great. Independent shout out to the Griddle Master himself, Taylor, for sticking around while our Iowa judge finished up so that I could get some much needed sleep so I can make my flight to this wonderful, sunny, beautiful locale that I'm currently in.
What did I tell you about talking about the weather there?
I was going to bust out the global mute button.
So, but yeah, ultimately I had a good time. It's just sad that I didn't have as good a time playing the game as I'd like to have.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think that's a hallmark of a good event, though, when you can do poorly, like play wise, and like still have a good time. I feel very similarly in that, like, play wise, I alluded to this on Twitter and Discord a little bit. I've got to figure out what like my relationship with play looks like. But from the event, from the vibes, from like the hangs, I have zero notes. Like I just had a good time. Meeting the Iowa crew that like I interact with on Discord and Twitter a lot with in real life was great. All of those guys, bar none, are like the dopest people. Meeting some fappers in real life was the dopest. Dalen, wanting one of our jerseys is really cool. So we're gonna hit him up with one of those. Like, shout out to him. He's in camp this week, by the way. Guy's a maniac. Goes to a Grand Prix and then
Put in work. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, gotta get on a plane from this calling. I have to go to football camp tomorrow, so that's insane. Talk to Brendan Patrick for 2 seconds. That guy is really cool in real life. Hanging out.
Seigel's a blast. In case you need to know.
Who?
Rob Seigel is also a blast.
Everybody's just great. Jason, or who was Jason that we met? Do you remember Jason's last name? I don't believe Jason's in content creation. He's just from the Virginia crew.
I think so. Yeah, that sounds right.
Oh, is he the one that we played in Blitz? I played him in Blitz, and then you played him in the Calling?
James, not Jason. James.
Okay. Yeah. He eliminated both Logan and I. He eliminated me in round 7, and then Logan, I believe, in round 6 or 5, a couple of rounds prior.
Because he turn 1, I come in with a full ninja line, right? Like the whole Badoogie. We're dealing 14.
Yeah,
we're
it didn't matter.
And he's just like, I accept. And I'm like, I'm dead. I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
And then it was turn 1, Oaken Old. Turn 2, Fused, Autumn's Touch, Red with a Winter's Wail behind it. Turn 3, Oaken Old. I'm like,
yeah.
Hey.
We had a very similar interaction where we were joking before the round. He's a very fun guy to chat with.
And, absolutely, it's blast.
I didn't have Stravo. He didn't do anything, and I don't have Strava, so I think I'm supposed to Arsenal and pass. But like my hand is so bad that I have to like pitch something to be able to even have a chance to Strava. Like I have 3 ice cards or something. And so I pitch an ice card and attack, and he goes, man, I think I'm supposed to like start filtering my hand, but my hand is literally perfect. Accept. And then like had Oakenhold double juiced and like off to the races. And we like joked about it the whole time. The guy was great. I mean, like Abby knows how I get when I lose, and she came up at the end, and we were like just busting each other's balls and like laughing. And like I lost to somebody that I felt was better than me, and that's cool. And that was kind of that theme of that weekend, is that like it was just fun regardless, man. Like St. Elmo's is dope. Like the Fap House was great. Getting to meet.
There was only 2 spilled drinks, by the way.
Yeah,
only 2.
Yeah. Honest to God, I would have jammed the over if you'd have set the line at 2.5. If you would have said the line was 2.5, like at the start of the weekend, I would have jammed the over. Like we also got a 5-star on Airbnb. So
we did.
Our review is 5 stars. Yeah, God bless. Yeah.
That is the same as my Uber rating. That's weird.
Okay, so yeah, here's my favorite story from this stupid tournament. Is we were leaving St. Elmo's on Saturday night, and we need 2 Ubers basically is the way it works out, and I get one and Logan gets one. I paid $4 more and had to wait 10 extra minutes. I ordered mine first, and his got there 10 minutes before mine because he has a 0.09 difference in his rating. I have a 4.91, and he has a 5. And I paid $4 extra and waited 10 extra minutes. And the only variable, standing in front of the same goddamn restaurant, only variable was
many stars, motherfucker. This many stars.
The 5ers, yeah. So the 4.91 apparently is not good. Well, by the way, that's 1 4-star rating over the course of my Uber life. Insane.
But I have 0.
Insane.
I have only 5s.
Insane. They need sabermetrics and Uber ratings. my expected average return has got to be a 5, right? My sabermetrics are good. Just embarrassing.
Yeah, your money ball checks out.
Yeah, exactly.
You ran cold one time.
I get on base,
Yeah, you get on base. The Greek god of blocks over here.
No, I had a great time. Abby, we actually haven't talked about, typically we would have talked in the car, but we didn't, about like your tournament. How was your weekend? You didn't play the main. How was your vibes?
I had a great time. I had a blast. We did the Blitz event. Obviously, you've heard them talk about it. I had 2 really big call-outs for the weekend, both very positive things. The first one, the amount of females that were at the event is like mind-blowing to me. I played against 2 in the team tournament we did, which is, I honestly gotta think, 2 more than I've ever played against in my competitive career. So
I don't think we've ever seen another woman L5R player. So
there was one. She played Unicorn. I don't remember her name. Her husband played Crane like me.
Hold on.
That's right.
Pause. Unicorn?
Yeah, it was a clan in L5R.
Yes. We're not getting off topic about it. We can talk about that later.
Dude, you would have liked L5R. It was fun. Anyway.
It was fun. And, but I mean, it was awesome. Like, I absolutely love that. So that was cool. The second thing, I want to make a couple things very clear before I go into the story. I love Jordan.
Oh God, here we go.
Oh shit.
Jordan is my best friend. I love him so very much. He is great.
It's about to be some bullshit, guys.
I love nothing more than opening better cards than Jordan. And it's not just in this game. I like it when we did baseball cards. I used to open magic packs with him, even though I didn't know like literally anything about it. Nothing makes me happier than opening better cards than Jordan. And if you didn't see the picture, I opened the Fabled, which is amazing. I opened the Fabled and all 3 legendaries from Everfest. Jordan, what did you open?
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Hey, Jordan,
okay.
How was that box? How was that box that you opened? It looked a little thin.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Spoiler alert: the box of Everfest I opened on Saturday night was maybe $20 of cards.
I think that's over.
Maybe.
Well,
yeah, maybe.
I think it's 11-ish.
Right.
The foil Frostbite might be the most expensive card.
Probably.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah.
So Jordan went second, and our 2 boxes were stacked on top of each other. And I wanted to go second because I wanted Jordan to hand me the box, so that I could switch them, because I didn't want to have to drink a whole bunch. I wasn't planning on doing that. And if that had been the case, I still would have gotten the box with the Fable in it. So definitely the best part of my weekend was getting to rub that in Jordan's face.
I 100% did not open the same value as that Fabled, but I still paid $70 to that box and opened $190 in value.
Yeah, dude, my box was terrible. I mean, the cool thing about Abby opening that Fable was I was upstairs using the restroom or cleaning something or whatever, and I hear everybody freak out, and I thought, oh God, the drink counter is about to go up to 3. And then, and then I hear
Reasonable.
I hear this little pitter patter of footsteps up the stairs. It was just then Abby goes, "I opened the Fable." Or what did you say? You go, "No, what's it mean if there's a diamond and not a set number?"
Yeah. I said, "So I'm looking at this card and it doesn't have a circle; it has a diamond. What does that mean?"
And I think I said, "Go fuck yourself."
He did.
Let me use the restroom and peace. Go fuck yourself. Yeah.
But no, I had a great time. It was great meeting everyone. It's really nice to put names with faces, although it was really hard for me because not everyone's name is their name in the Discord. So then I was like, okay, so you can tell me your name, but who are you? Who are you?
There was also a lot of people.
There was a lot of people.
Yeah.
I can't remember 12 people's names necessarily in bite-sized meetings. Jesus.
Yeah.
Right. No, yeah, I had a lot of fun.
The other part I really enjoyed, we were talking to Keith, the owner of the Realm, and a little backstory on that. So obviously I am from Mansfield, for those of you that haven't listened to an episode, not proudly, to an episode previously. And I took my mom in there. Jordan is very hard to buy Christmas presents for, but my parents like to give him stuff that's not just money. So I was like, well, we'll just go to the store and get a couple booster packs, and then you can just box up cash for him, and that'll be the rest of his Christmas. And so I went in and I was talking to him and I was like, oh yeah, like we're getting ready to start a podcast. It's literally nothing. No one's going to listen to it. And he was like, oh, well, like, here's my info. Like, would love to work with you guys. And so one, I had to hold on to it for like a month and a half until Christmas came around. But two, I remember telling him like, yeah, no one's going to listen to the show. Like, you can say that you want to be involved, but like, I promise you it's not going to be a thing. And now it's like a thing. It's like a thing. And I'm like, hey, remember when I told you that no one was going to listen to our show?
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
We may have not gauged that correctly at all.
There are more than 7 people that listen. So
There are a factor.
Yeah, so
More than 7.
and I say this, I usually say this in jest. I say this with all sincerity. The odds makers actually take a beating.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sure do.
Yep.
But it was cool meeting people and like being recognized by our voices. I know that was unsettling to Logan at one point. So we'll like recognize him based off his voice or something, and it was really funny.
There was somebody in the Discord playing next to me, and then I'm in the middle of this game and I'm trying to think it through, and I know I'm going to lose because I'm playing against Starve with Gatsu. And all of a sudden, it's just like turns around, it's like, Logan? I'm like, what did I do? I'm like, no, I'm Josh. I'm like, great, proud of you. He's like, no, Nagrama from the Discord, and I'm like, oh shit, how you doing? He's like, yeah, I recognized your voice, and I was like,
That's
oh
so
my
funny.
god, you sure did, huh? Oh no, that's just bad. I say things that people shouldn't say, and I say them loudly. Oh shit, this is gonna get bad for me, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it was in all sincerity. God, our community is great.
Yeah, it was great.
Like,
It was great.
man,
It was cool
just a
making
blast.
connections like with people that you only talk to on Twitter, and like again, seriously, honest to God, no notes from like the tournament and like the weekend itself. The play aside, like no notes. You know, it was great. Like I just suck at the game.
Yay. Me too.
It's really hard to stay engaged, man. Like when you're looking at these decks, it's really hard to stay engaged. And I don't feel like you were bad at this. I don't feel like I purposefully knowingly made a bad deck choice. You decided to not play the battle hardened, and this is, I guess, I do have one customer service complaint.
Oh yes, I do have one note. Yeah,
if this was CFB, and I was like, I'm out, I don't want to play the battle hardened, pretty frustrated. Then I'm like, here's some ticks. Sorry about your experience.
Yep.
SCG, nope, blocked. And I'm like, okay, fine. Then I'm just gonna register Kano and not even care, and not even real Kano, like wizard cards I own. I'm going to soak up the resources of your tournament on purpose because you have decided that your slim profit is way more important than my enjoyment in life. And at that point in time, I need to waste as much of your time as possible to make sure that this equity has some kind of balance. You fucks.
Yeah, like Channel Fireball so to describe what happened, I didn't want to play the Battle Hardened on day 2. I was pretty discouraged losing the last round of day 1 to not make day 2, and I was kind of just over Classic Constructed and needed to take a break. And so the generals, like Channel Fireball, when they ran call-ins and when they ran like Grand Prix, is if you pre-registered for an event and then like for whatever reason didn't want to do it, they would give you a not good exchange rate on dollars of tickets, but they would give you an exchange rate on dollars of tickets. And it was enough that you didn't feel like you were wasting like your money. Abby and I had done this with some side events that we pre-registered for at the Calling in Cincinnati, for example. So I figured, you know what, Star City is also an S tier level event organizer like Channel Fireball.
At worst, right?
Right. Like how many of those have we played in our lifetime? Never had a poor experience with the company, like whatever, right? So I go up and ask the guy, you know, hey, can I do this? And he goes, well, did you make day 2? And I said, no, my plans have just changed, and I'm going to be leaving like by like noon tomorrow at like the latest, right? And he goes, oh no, unfortunately, you're kind of just stuck with it. So I was like, I mean, like I'm not gonna like I didn't argue with the guy, like he's just doing his job, right? It's the policy, but that was I guess my one note is that like you still have captured the $40 from me, like. Just like drop me from the tournament, give me something else. Like if you gave me, because I think Star City does $10 of store credit for every 100 tickets. So like it is like what you can exchange at the prize wall. So if you would have given me, so the Battle Hardened was $40. If you would have given me $30 worth of tickets, I would have felt like I would have actively felt good about that. So you've captured $10. Actually, like you've already made 40. But in this world, you're capturing an additional 10 for free, right? and I feel good. But that didn't happen. So I guess that's my one note. And I don't want to
On
like.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No. I want you to say a positive thing because I don't mean it as like I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I was over it like 5 minutes after it happened. Like you and I talked about it and we bitched about it for a minute and it was over. So go ahead and do your positive thing.
On the positive side, Channel Fireball is running the Calling in New Jersey.
Oh, that's good.
It was nothing positive about SCG.
Yeah. I this is SCG's first time in the space. Like, granted, like that policy of ticket refund has nothing to do.
I guess first time in calling space. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like, but then again, like I guess like none of this has anything to do with Flesh and Blood specifically. It's more of like a tournament organizer policy. So that would be my one note. Is I feel like you can just. It's also cheaper for them to like the burden one person places on a tournament is higher than the burden of me going to like the prize wall and consuming 300 tickets. So like, just like in terms of logistics and manpower. So and that might be marginal, but anyway, I really have no notes that have like soured the experience. Like in my write up that I'm going to do for our Discord, which if you're not in there, come read our write ups that we post in there. That
shit post
there's lots of shit posting. It's mostly shit posting.
It's mostly shit posting.
I won't even address that. It's not even like a drag on the event to the point where like it was great. I had a ton of fun. So I guess no notes was a lie, but like half a note.
Yeah.
Like a quarter note, like the little thing filled in with a circle.
Oh, the little music thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So we kind of touched on it, but our BFF Starva won both the Calling and the Battle Hardened event. So that puts him at 814 points. So if he wins the Pro Tour, he will retire.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fingers crossed.
And he can't be disqualified before the Pro Tour.
That is not true.
What happens between now and then?
Don't they have a release in April?
There's an announcement on April 5th.
There is an announcement April 5th?
There is a banned and restricted or whatever announcement on April 5th. And I believe
I meant he won't be Living Legend out.
Not by points, but I believe, and I would have to fact check, or if somebody wants to fact check me and put me in the correction corner, that's fine, that LSS has said in the past that they can decide to Living Legend a hero out early if they choose. So,
when is the what are the dates for the
Pro Tour?
Pro Tour?
May 12th, 13th, 14th, I think.
13th, 14th, 15th. But yes.
I was so close.
You were.
Gives you a month if they do decide to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of time to test like a new meta. And that would be a massive shakeup. Like Prism's share of the meta gets drastically more shaky if Bravo's not around. Viscerai's share gets more exciting. Excuse me. Other decks rise to the top.
I would actually just play Katsu.
Yeah, not have to worry about every matchup being terrible.
Well, half of them minimum.
Most of them, yeah. Like most of the tournament that you play. Yeah, I don't know if they should. That'd be let's make that a discussion topic for next week because that is actually like really interesting in terms of what we talk about regularly with the Living Legend system. So I'll make a point to talk about that.
And then in addition to that, this weekend there was a Battle Hardened event in Leeds. It was a Blitz event.
Oh dear.
And so top 8 there were 3 Viscerai, a Briar, a Kasai, sorry. Lexi and Oldham and a Bravo.
Like, can you imagine walking into a Blitz event and playing Katsu instead of Ira? Like, what are you doing?
And then it worked.
The print is very small on my screen, so. Oldham won the Blitz event.
Oldham is a very, very strong Blitz hero. Like, very strong.
Beat Viscerai in the finals.
I mean, I need to get a hold of David Caff's Bravo list and see how he managed the Ira matchup.
Just reach out to him.
Yeah, I will. I think I will. Find him on Twitter or something.
Yeah.
This fucking game's going to make me get out of Facebook again, and it's so annoying.
I will.
So-
I will be your proxy for Facebook. I don't want you to have to go through that.
Thank God. I have no desire. I almost want to delete Twitter, but it's too good.
The Bird app is free, sir. We need to
Bird
recognize
app
it for what it is.
free. So in the calling, the top 8 was 4 Starvo, 2 Prism, a Briar, and a Chain.
Which
And
is almost
then-
exactly representative of the day 2 metagame. It's eerie how close that was to the actual percentages.
Yeah, they never
Mhm.
port that well, and it ported to a T, right?
Yep.
And then in the Battle Hardened, it was 3 Starvo, 2 Prism, 2 Viscerai, and a Chain.
Shout out to Travis McDaniel, Ohio guy, Southeastern Ohio guy, making top 8 of that.
Mhm.
He fights
on
dragons,
Prism.
I heard.
He does fight dragons.
He does
So
fight
he played
dragons.
Phoenix in L5R, and they were and he was like a regular competitor in the top against like the best dragon player in the world at the time. So that's where that came from. Or at least I think that's where it came from. It could predate that, but
We're about to have a correction corner ×2.
yeah, I'll have to ask him.
Right?
I'm sure that's where it came from because he rose to prominence, at least in my view, under like regularly being in the finals against the best dragon player in the world. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had a little bit of scandal. So
Little schmaz.
there was a disqualification on camera during round 2 of the calling. The player was stacking his pitch zone backwards so that he would know, like,
His crown,
He-
right? Like specifically
No.
the card he crowned away.
I think he was also doing his literal pitch.
oh, all of it. I thought it was the crown.
Yeah, so his deck was oriented. I watched the coverage. I watched the first day of coverage today while working, and when he drew cards, he drew them upside down. Yeah, working for all the audio listeners. Logan just mocked me with the air quotes on working.
Sure did.
No, so his deck was oriented correctly, or I'm sorry, backwards. And when he would draw cards, they would upside down in his hand, and then he would pitch cards correctly, and that would be like he could track where the bottom of his deck was. And it was very interesting because his opponent was national champion Tarek Patel, and Tarek did not, based on the coverage, didn't say or do anything. Like there was never a pause in the match until there was the pause to initiate the DQ. And like there were judges in the backgrounds of both the things that the judges identified this based probably on the fact that he was drawing his cards upside down.
Upside down card.
Yeah, and then they investigated and
I do have a funny addendum to that story.
Yeah.
Round 1, sorry, of the Battle Hardened. I'm sitting down, and my opponent's shuffling. I'm shuffling, and he's like, "Did you hear about the guy that got DQ'd yesterday?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did. That was really interesting." He's like, "Yeah, that's so weird." And he's like, I just don't know why." And then a couple minutes later, our opponent's to the left, and this kid's like, he's like, "Hey, give me a minute while I re-sleeve. I want to make sure I got art sleeves. I got DQ'd yesterday in round 2." I'm like,
Oh boy.
uh-oh.
So
Yikes.
there was some discussion on Reddit about whether or not it was intentional, which for the record, I 100% think it was an intentional deviation from the rules to gain an advantage. Okay. You don't like do this on accident. Okay.
Your mileage may vary, but I would also probably be in that camp. Yeah.
Right. Like there is a very small percentage that I am willing to like shirk for the sake of saying this. You don't draw your deck upside down like when you draw your 4 for the turn on accident, you know? So but anyway, like literally every time the guy drew like his 4 and then like literally flipped them over in his hand every time. Like it was absurd. But there was some discussion about maybe this is just the way this person plays and this is their first event and like they didn't like necessarily know it was cheating and not just like good strategy. At the calling level, that doesn't matter in terms of like whether disqualification happens or not. But I guess if you wanted to give somebody some wiggle room, that's where you do it. So if you like the headcanon, then not everybody's a bad guy, but on camera too, like man,
ballsy,
man, like just don't fucking cheat. And if you're not sure about something, like ask
somebody. Yeah,
like if you're at the point where you're like, man, I have this thing that no one else seems to do, maybe just check and make sure that it's fine. But like just don't cheat, you know?
Yeah, it's probably a better way to go about it.
You know, just
Just don't.
Yeah, we're not your buds if you cheat. Like, we're not.
Nope.
So
Definitely not. So moving on, as a reminder, the 5K is at the Realm in Mansfield this weekend. Registration is from 8 to 9:30. Round 1 will start at 10. You do have to have a deck list, so if you're going, can you...
they'll
You
have
can
deck
print them.
lists on site, and you can print them.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I
like
didn't know if you could print them or not.
Yeah.
But just make sure to budget that into your plans. We will put the event link in the show notes as well. So hopefully you come. Jordan and I will be there. I'm pretty excited about it.
I may Skype in just to have this background there for y'all.
I'm muting you.
I'm leaving
gonna
my- I was
figure out how to do
invited.
it.
I'm leaving my phone
I was
home that
invited
day.
to. Yeah.
Oh, did you say to Skype
yeah.
in?
Yeah, I guess so. Like, I completely spaced because he's like, I don't know what your schedule's like, and I'd like to have you Skype in, so we have the whole crew, and I'm like, I don't know what it's like, and then it kind of dawned on me, I'm like, wait a second, it's like 10 a.m. Eastern time. That's 7 in the morning here. I won't be doing anything yet.
Good
So,
morning.
I will be pre-shower beer.
That's funny.
So, like, yeah, cool. Like, I can probably Skype in that early. Dear God.
And by this weekend, we do mean March 26th, by the way.
Correct.
Depending on whenever you're listening. If you're listening to this as the most current episode, it's this weekend. If you're listening to this in the past, it's not happening.
And I want to be real clear here. Show up, because this is insane. Like, the work that they're doing,
Yeah.
the work they're putting in to make this about the players and good for everybody, just pay the man his money, because they're doing the work. And we as a community need to reward them doing the work. They got Dragon Shield sponsoring. They've got all kinds of swag. They're giving me $5,000 in cash. Like, come on. This is, granted, you're just gonna finish second to Michael Hamilton. I understand, but it's you'll still get prizes. It'll still be good money. So, like,
Exactly.
come support this store. Come support what they're doing. They're trying to build the community outside of the organized play structure, so that we just keep having options in those lull times and those down times. And that deserves applauded, rewarded, talked about, consumed, everything. Like, that is so important to have in a community. It carried Magic through a very dark time, and we don't have to have those dark times if we start now.
Right.
So
Exactly.
Right. To talk about Star City, so sorry, I like to just echo what Logo was saying. We talked a lot about Star City. Without Star City Games, competitive Magic died before 2020. It died in like the 2005s to 2015s. Yeah.
2010?
Yeah. It dies when the GP scene and the Pro Tour scene weren't great. And like, so guys like Keith have this vision to like do this, and we can't talk about much else, but like, there is so much good shit happening in this space, and it just needs rewarded, man. And like, you're gonna be pumped to see the things that come down the pipeline, and a lot of it is like, just this event is gonna be sweet, and like, we hope you're there. And I don't shill for a lot. I don't really believe in, like, I think advertising's a scam, and here I am talking about this dude that like owns a store in Mansfield, and like, because I believe in it, I'm excited about it, and I might not even play. I might just show up to like provide free labor, which is so against my MO. I'm so pumped about it. Like,
Yeah.
I am so hyped about it. I don't believe in buying jerseys for teams, because I think that's paying for you're paying to advertise for somebody else. But here I am, fucking hype about it, because like, this is sweet. I'm so excited. So tell your friends, tweet your favorite Fab players, like, tell them about this tournament, man.
That's right. You can come hang out with us. There will be prize payouts to the top 32. It is $45 for entry. It is classic constructed. Just to be clear, there was a little confusion on that. So, classic constructed, registration's at 8, round 1 is at 10.
First place gets $1,800.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
so
Crazy.
So Michael Hamilton gets $1,800, but you could get $750.
That's right.
Or if you're very good at talking, you may get him to chop.
Yeah,
exactly.
Here's the thing: with $700, you can buy Mansfield, except for the Realm.
No, the Realm's
I like them, so they have to stay where they are. But yeah,
you could eat at every restaurant in Mansfield for $750.
You honestly probably could.
I met good.
Is Mansfield actually Schitt's Creek? Like, Is it
I've
that
never
town?
seen that show.
No, it's bigger than that.
It's just
Okay.
Cricket Banger.
It is
It's a
such a
banger.
good show.
It's a
We
banger.
are not getting off topic on that though.
Okay.
No, like, for 1 minute. Like, it is. It is. I didn't think I was going to find it funny in episode 1. And then by episode 3, I was like, please, just in my veins. Like,
It's
I
very
need
good.
this show in my life for as long as humanly possible because this is amazing.
That'll
So,
be my
yes,
next
it's a
show.
banger.
Yeah, and then in addition to the prize structure that we already have, if you haven't seen the news yet, Flesh and Blood and Dragon Shield are partnering together, and they made hero sleeves. So there were a couple people around at the Calling that had them. I've seen the pictures starting to circulate on the Bird app. There will actually be giving some away as well. So if you go to the 5K, you'll be entered in for the like raffle.
A door prize. Yeah.
And they'll be
a month
giving
ahead of
those
time.
away.
A month before a street date.
Yeah, you could look sweet, and your friends will be like, "Well, I didn't know those were out here." You'd be like, "Bitch, they're not."
They're not.
Like-
I'm just the best. Yeah.
This is another one of those things where I typically would never buy because it feels like paying to advertise for someone, and these look
Fucking
sweet. Yeah, yo, dude. Yeah, I have an MO. I have an MO in our capitalistic system to a fault, and that's not even correct. But I have a thing. But these are sweet, man. I'm gonna get some Oldham sleeves. I'm hoping to win them, but I'll fucking buy them if I don't. So
Yeah, they look awesome. They look awesome. So come out. We'll be there. It'll be fun. I'll show you the 4 places that you can go afterwards.
I'm sorry, I'll be enjoying the weather in Phoenix where it'll
Shut
be.
Okay, if I could figure out how to mute you, I actually would, but I don't know how to do it. So, in other news, the Comprehensive Rules 2.0 has been officially released and is now in effect. Logan's favorite article, a Back Alley Oracle, is out
God,
about
not
it.
again. Please don't. I've already embarrassed myself enough. Let's not keep going. I got overboard at least 3 times this weekend, and I'm just no.
If the shoe fits.
Oh.
So we will link that in the show notes so you can take a look. It's just a quick overview of it. And then do we have a link for the updated
CR?
Yeah.
The Back Alley Oracle honestly is the best place, and it does link to the Comprehensive Rulebook 2.0.
Oh, okay, cool.
But for like the most players, A, not much will change that you know. And B, it really is it really isn't that big of a deal. You played with it this past weekend and you just didn't even notice.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what is Perry?
Sorry?
One of the things on here is what happened to Perry.
Oh, they used to name players in their examples, and indicative of what they were talking about in the rules. And so one of the pieces of the rules changed, and so they removed the name Perry because it was in reference to that piece of the rules that no longer exists. So Perry is gone.
As a result, Perry's official position will be filled by newcomer Nick.
Yep, they
What about
bodied Perry and brought Nick in.
That's so rude.
Perry sleeps with the fishes.
Poor Perry.
Yeah, so
Is he
Magic's used to be Magic's
Timmy
rulebook. Well, so they actually used to have A. Well, they would change the names every time, and A would always refer to the active player, and then and then M would always refer to the non-active player. Yeah. So, but I like that there is actually just like a flat standard name. So, what is the active player's name in the books?
I have no idea.
Doesn't matter.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that Perry was the thing until I just read it. All right, so we do not have a Reddit thread of the week this week because we were in Indy. So super sorry.
We had some drinks.
Check back next week for that. We have a couple listener questions that we are going to do next week. We kind of want the focus of the show today to be about Indy and kind of how all of that went. So if you're not, we have them on our list and we will get to them next week. So be on the lookout for next week, 2 weeks. Time's weird. It'll be on the episode in 2 weeks.
Time is a flat
The
circle.
29th
Yeah.
is the episode that those will be on.
Thank you. As always, you can find us on Twitter at FleshPod. You can join our Discord. The link will be in the show notes. It is awesome in there. I'm trying to get my office hours extended even more, so fingers crossed on that. You can give us a 5-star review on Apple. You can subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. You can like and subscribe on YouTube. We have an email. It's at fleshandpod@gmail.com. You do have to get permission before sending us an email to that. So please reach out to Shuggy Time should you want to go that route.
This is a joke, by the way. You don't actually have to do that. You said it so seriously this time. You said it's so deadpan this time. I was like, man.
No, it's serious. It's his email.
It kind of is.
Kind of.
See? You can find me on Twitter at AbbyD83. I tweet all kinds of random things. Anyone out there who appreciates a possum, let me know. I have tagged Logan in possum pics every day this week, and he loves it. It's the best part of his day.
No, it's not.
He thinks it's great. They're adorable all the time. I now am getting ads for other ones, so there's a red panda every hour.
The red pandas are adorable.
So are possums. I'm sick of your slander. Okay?
All right. Whatever.
They are good for the environment, and they're adorable.
Bullshit.
Thank you. I'm skipping you. Jordan, what's your Twitter?
My Twitter's at I'm Jerman, IMJORMAN. Always tweeted sports, whether it's Reds, Guardians, the Browns, also tweeting politics. Like there's a confirmation hearing going on right now. So I'm tweeting and following a lot of stuff about that. Come argue with me, I guess. Please don't argue with me. I'd rather you just passively like my tweets or say affirming things in my space. But if you want to talk about it, we can. I like that. Sell the team Bob. That's my other current hallmark right now. The Reds are in disastrous shape, so you can follow all that on my Twitter. Logan?
I am at Logan Peterson on Twitter. I am officially a Stan account for bread. And you'll see me tweeting about bread, how much possums are fucking disgusting.
They're adorable.
And, nope, they're not. No one agrees with you. And a lot of just other inane stuff, sometimes bodying Jordan because, reasons.
You have to do it once in a while.
Every now and again, it just has to happen. But honestly, the best place to reach any of us is still just to show up in our Discord. And real time. Abby is tagging me on possums in real time. This is some bullshit.
That's a good bit, actually. That's actually an insane bit.
It's such a cute picture.
Get bodied.
I got bodied. I mean, that happens. But it's so weird. I can't feel sad with this weather back here with the sun, the breeze, the blue skies, not a cloud in sight.
Yikes.
Yeah, fuck you, Abby.
Yikes.
So,
listen, they post one every hour. I totally tag you in one a day. Let's just keep that in mind.
I can write you a Python bot that tags him every hour.
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
That's not.
Yeah, see? This is what you get.
Because I mean, it'd be really awkward if I was blocking my co-hosts.
Well, it wouldn't be her that's tagging you. It'd be this bot. And I could just make a new one every day. I could make them faster than the rate you can block them.
Somebody's a Russian asset. But honestly, the best place to get in on this is to hop in the Discord. This is exactly the content you would expect in our Discord. So
that's right. We're real.
We're nothing if not consistent.
That's right. All right, friends. Well, that is all we have this week. So we will talk to you next week and hopefully see you at the Realm. Bye.